guys? Welcome back to Critic and Fan. And you know what? Tonight we just came back from watching a movie I was looking forward to. It's called Hardcore Henry, and it's basically marketed as the first ever action movie that was exclusively all in first person, or POV if you will. And we've seen movies like this before. We've seen movies like in Cloverfield, where it's just a guy holding a camera and running around, and you get to see the movie from that person's perspective while he's holding the camera. And also other movies kind of like The Visit, sort of on that same line of just first-person view. But with this movie, it's just the entire movie is all action from the eyes of this person that you're viewing as the audience as. And so you get to see both hands in action. You get to see this person doing parkour stuff, fighting, shooting guns, bursting through glass. And this was a very interesting concept when this trailer first came out. I was really looking forward to seeing it. I think you were looking forward to seeing it too, right?
Oh, I saw the trailer. I thought it looked interesting. It looked different.
Yeah, it looked something different that we've never seen before, because how can you pull off an action movie for, I think it was maybe 90 minutes long? And we finally saw it. And Rob, what did you think?
I actually got motion sickness about a quarter of the way through, put my head down for most of it, even had to leave for a little bit. It seemed like a good story, but I just couldn't handle all the crazy emotions. It just wasn't for me. I couldn't enjoy this film at all.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the movie. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie because the story can be a little bit interesting. But what really messes it up is just there's too much shaky cam in this movie. And there's a lot of scenes that have there's a lot of great scenes. That's probably the biggest pro of this movie, is that there's a lot of crazy stunts that they do in this movie.
Yeah, like the parts I did watch, the stunts looked great. All the different kind of things that were going on. It looked good. It was just too much movement for me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff. You have a guy zip-lining on a rope like 16 stories down to the ground. You have him being basically Spider-Man, scaling these walls up a building. And you get to experience all these things in first-person view, which is very interesting to see. But then there's a whole bunch of shootouts, and he'll dive out of harm's way a lot of times, but the camera is just like this at least 60-70% of the movie is just all this, and you just and that takes you out of the experience a lot of times of this movie. And so the story, while it's not overly compelling, does enough to you're kind of like, I kind of want to see what happens. In the end, you don't really care as much.
Yeah, we had a friend come with us, and she liked action movies, but she thought it was just too much gore for her, so she just actually got up and left and went to go see My Big Fat Greek Wedding too instead.
Yeah, and I think you kind of wanted to join her because the motion sickness was kind of getting to you. But this guy was a trooper and he stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, another positive that I can say about this movie, though, besides some of the action scenes, was I would say Sharlto Copley, I think that's how you say his name. You might recognize him as the king from Maleficent, or as the guy from the lead actor in District 9. And what was really interesting about his character was that a lot of times you're kind of he's a very confusing character a bit, because a lot of times he'll die in this movie and then he has another version of himself kind of coming along. And it's funny because this movie is basically a big giant video game, like a first person video game, and and his character is kind of a video game in the sense where he just keeps respawning. Like every time he dies, he has a new version of himself, just keeps coming back to life.
Yeah, a couple of funny different versions pop up.
Yeah, he has different versions of himself, and of course him acting as a different version of himself. That was a highlight to see, really, because he would just pull off different versions of his character. So he was pretty cool. The main villain is very one-dimensional. He just has one goal, how all villains are, just take over the world and raise an army to do so. So he has a very one dimension. There's no layers to him whatsoever. He's just bad, and he has superpowers, but they never explain how he gets his powers or what his powers even are. It's just,
well, I guess they didn't really need to, because it's all point of the view of the main character, and he never finds out, so you never find out.
Exactly, and that's what they were trying to go for with this movie, was that the person that is in the POV, he's confused because his memory's been wiped off, basically. And he's basically trying to regain his memories and stuff. So basically, as the audience, you're as confused as this guy is. Which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, because half the time I was just kind of like, you would get lost in the story a bit, or you just wouldn't even care. And so well, I'll say this. I respect the movie for what it was trying to do. I do believe that this movie does push boundaries, and I do believe that we're going to see more types of action movies like this. But I don't know. I just think that the story was lacking and the shaky cam was too much, and it does take out of the experience. I would say, if motion sickness isn't a problem for you, then by all means go see this movie because there's a lot of action scenes and a bunch of stunts that'll blow your mind away, and just if you're like me, you won't be bothered by that. If you're like Rob and it bothers you, avoid it. It's simple as that.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Anything else you want to talk about?
That's it for me.
All right, guys, that's our quick initial thoughts and review of this movie, Hardcore Henry. What do you guys think? Are you guys looking forward to see this movie? I mean, did you expect a video game-like movie of this caliber to even come into theaters in the first place? I mean, whatever it is, guys, comment below. Let us know. Like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at critic_and_fan. And you can also follow us on this YouTube channel. Subscribe for more movie reviews. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yes, and as soon as we reach 100 subscribers, we'll start doing a monthly giveaway.
Look forward to that. We only have 60 more followers to go, but we will get there.